Well, there was dirty work at the crossroads last time as Boris and Natasha tried to blow up our heroes. Unfortunately for them, they were caught by a runaway car and wound up blowing themselves up instead. Of course, our boys still aren't out of the woods. Cactus.
Rock, I can't go on.
Bullwinkle, speak to me, speak to me. Why won't you speak to me?
I can't think of a thing to say.
Gee, I gotta get him out of this sun.
And the plucky squirrel seized his friend by the ankles and began to drag him bodily across the desert floor.
Ooh. If it's all the same to you, Rock, I'll walk.
But, Bullwinkle, you're too weak to walk.
Yeah, but I'd rather die of the staggers than get needled to death.
Good show, Bullwinkle.
And our friends pushed onward while the blazing sun beat down with furnace heat. A short distance away, Boris and Natasha were pulling themselves out of the debris of the explosion.
Well, your plan was a washout, Boris.
I think I cancel my subscription to the fiendish Plain of the Mont Club.
But they're getting away with deed to mine, darling. What can we do?
Oh, you forget I am vice president in crime syndicate.
So what you're going to do?
What any big executive would do. I pass the buck. Hello, fearless leader. Come in, please.
And Boris's voice crackled across the miles to a sinister hideout where his superior eagerly awaited his report.
Hello?
Fearless leader. Is Boris bad enough on the air, sir?
Oh, no. That no good.
Hello, fearless leader.
Don't tell me you didn't get deed to mine.
Lie.
You didn't rub out moose and squirrel. You
Lie.
just got caught in one of your own traps.
How did you...
Enough, bad enough. Either get results soon or join our most exclusive society.
Yeah? What's that?
Ex-Vice President's Club.
What he say, darling?
He passed buck right back to me.
Meanwhile, our heroes were just about at the end of their tether.
Courage, Bullwinkle. Just a little bit farther.
But I'm so thirsty. Feels like my mouth is full of lint.
If we just had some water.
Water. I'd give anything I got for a drink of water. My money, my house, even the deed to Uncle Dewlap's mine.
Water boy. Where was I hiding?
Hokey Smoke, who are you?
Allow me to introduce myself, Sahib. Gonga Drain, professional Indian-type water boy.
Well, how much is your water?
Oh, got all prices. You buy by the drop, sip, swig, or gulp.
How much for a king-size guzzle?
Oh, for that it costs one deed to mine.
Sounds great.
Will you drink it here or take it home?
Well,
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Drain.
Just call me Gonga.
How did you know we had a deed to a mine?
Well,
I don't think you ought to do it, Bullwinkle. Anyway, those prices seem awful high.
But I got big overhead.
No, some other time, maybe.
Yeah, see us next time we're dying of thirst.
Well, to show there is no hard feeling, I give you free of charge Gunga Drain souvenir.
Souvenir? What is it?
This delightful little pet you should wear on your lapel. Changes color when you put it on things.
Oh, yeah, I hear to them. They're called camellias.
Chameleons, Bullwinkle.
Yeah, cute little fellers, aren't they?
But they really weren't chameleons at all, but deadly, poisonous scorpions. Well, will these little stingers do Boris's dirty work for him? Be with us next time for Death in the Desert or A Place in the Sun.
Once upon a night, there was a cat, which in itself isn't unusual. What is unusual is that this particular cat had cold feet. But being smarter than the ordinary cat, he had a plan to remedy that situation. He climbed to a fence by one of the small houses of the kingdom and began to yowl at the moon for all he was worth. Inside of the small house, a young man who worked very long and hard in the okra fields for his bread and beans was sleeping. Or that is, he was trying to sleep.
I reason that he will soon grab the first thing that's handy, which will be his boots, and throw them at me and shut me up and... here they are now.
The cat then slipped on the boots, and his feet were nice and warm. Meanwhile, the young man suddenly realized that he had thrown away the only pair of boots he had in the world and quickly dashed out to get them back. He saw the cat wearing his boots and grabbed the rascal by the neck.
Something's the matter with my throat. I can't talk.
Trying to steal my boots, huh? Just for that, I'm going to doom you.
Now, if there is anything that Pussycat didn't want, it was to be doomed, and he did some mighty fast talking.
Please, man, don't doom me.
Why not?
I'm a magic cat.
You're crazy.
No, really, I can talk, can't I? You know very well ordinary cats can't talk.
Not even in cartoons?
I'll prove it to you. I hereby give you 3 wishes.
Oh, boy. All right, Magic Cat. For my first wish, I want you should make me rich.
Easy, man. I'll get to work on it first thing in the morning.
Early the next day, the cat set about the task of making the young man's first wish come true, but not exactly in the way that the young man had imagined.
Are you staying there? You want to be rich, don't you?
Yeah, but...
Relax, then. All you have to do is stay 150 rounds with that monster, and you'll win 1,000,000 pazouzas.
Yeah, but...
1,000,000 pazouzas is a lot of pazouzas, and... Good grief, here it comes.
No.
The fight was on. And oh my, the Berserk Turk was more berserk than he'd ever been before. He fought like a madman, and the poor young man took an awful beating.
Oh, but that smarts. Oh, that's going to be blue tomorrow.
But somehow, the young man held together for the required 150 rounds and won the money.
Well, I did it, man. Yesterday you were nothing. Now look at you.
Let me ask you, am I still alive?
That I don't know. What's your next wish?
No, you don't. I couldn't stand another wish. Go away.
Nah, nonsense. You still have 2 wishes coming. You're not going to waste them.
Well,
Now that you're a man of means, how about wishing for a big house to live in? Come on. We'll get to work on it right now.
Now, it so happened that the only house for rent in the kingdom was one inhabited by a huge ogre. But the rent was a little more than they could afford for...
2,000,000 pazouzas?
But the clever cat had a scheme. He took out a small jar of termites and set them loose in the house.
Hey, Ogre, come here. You're missing the chance of a lifetime.
I am?
Why, sure, you got a pigeon here. You should sell him the joint. The place is loaded with termites. Take a look.
Termites? Good heavens, I had no idea.
Well, Ogres sell them too, you know.
The ogre quickly sold the house for 1 pazooza and 38 cents, which is a good price even for a termite-infested house, and dashed away, happy as a troll.
What kind of a magic cat are you? You let me buy a house that's falling apart. Get out of my sight. Go away.
Not so fast. You still got 1 more wish coming in.
I don't want it.
With it, I will get you a bride so you can live happily ever after.
No, I don't want a bride?
Right. Now you wait here.
And the cat dashed off and in no time at all selected a bride, and the young man was married. But he didn't exactly live happily ever after, for...
You're just a lazy loafer, that's what you are. Scrub the floors, wash the windows, pay the kids.
Sheesh. What did you do? Pick her out of a bunch of good ones?
You pay attention to me while I'm yelling at you.
Yes, my love.
Now what about my fur coat?
Yeah, what about that?
I don't have one, that's what's about it. Everybody in the kingdom has a fur coat but me. You go into town this very minute and get me one.
But you spent all my pazouzas, my love. I can't get you.
No excuses. You get me a fur coat or else.
So, once again, the young man turned to the cat and asked,
Please, Magic Cat, grant me 1 more wish to help me get a fur coat.
Sorry, man, but I'm now retired. Besides, us magic cats never grant more than 3 wishes to a customer.
But I gotta have a fur coat.
Don't come to me with your problems. You got yourself into this mess, get yourself out.
All righty, I will.
Hey, what do you think you're gonna do? Don't look at me like that. Stop.
And so, once upon a night, there was a cat with cold feet, cold knees, cold chest, cold neck, cold face.
Well, on their way to Mount Flatten, where Bullwinkle's uncle had left him a mine, our heroes have run into a serious water shortage. But when Boris disguised himself as Gunga Drain, an Indian water peddler, Rocky turned him down.
Yeah, it isn't as if we're dying of thirst.
'Cause we are.
It was then that Boris offered them 2 free souvenirs that he said were chameleons.
I don't believe it. These animals have claws.
That's because they're desert chameleons. They use the claws to walk through sand.
I still don't believe it.
You don't believe in sandy claws?
That's pretty serious, Rock.
No telling what would have happened to Bullwinkle's faith in Rocky if one of the little beasts hadn't suddenly flipped his tail up and stung a nearby cactus.
What did I tell you, Bullwinkle?
What a way to die.
Chameleons, huh? These are scorpions.
Well, after all, what is a scorpion? Just a chameleon with a little kick to it.
Come on, Bullwinkle.
And the 2 boys started off across the desert again.
What's the matter, darling? Trick didn't work?
I was so sure they would trade it to mine for water.
You were really going to give them water, Boris.
Of course, Natasha. This water, all they could drink, see?
And as Boris poured a little of the clear liquid into a cup, the cup dissolved.
His little invention of my own for reducing.
Reducing?
Gets rid of ugly fat. People.
Deeper into the blazing desert, our heroes staggered. Little did they know that high above them in an air-conditioned helicopter, a mysterious figure was watching them. Suddenly, the helicopter began to descend toward our heroes. Meanwhile, 1,000 feet below...
Did you ever get the funny feeling that you were being followed, Bullwinkle?
Yeah, and we are. Get out of here, you buzzards.
But just then, a shadow fell over our friend.
Must be a cloud in the... Hey!
A cloud in the hay? The heat's getting you, Rock.
No, look!
Yes, the helicopter had swooped low and was hovering right over our friends' heads.
Gee, do you suppose we're going to be rescued at last?
Sure, he'll let down a ladder soon.
Hey, look out!
Great mounds of moss!
Yes, the helicopter was behaving in a very peculiar manner.
Either he's a terrible pilot or he's out to get us.
Nobody's that bad a pilot.
He's trying to squash us like a couple of bugs.
Stop, Bullwinkle!
Too late. Down came the aircraft on Bullwinkle's head. And when it rose again, Bullwinkle went with it.
Bullwinkle, let go!
I can't! My antlers are stuck!
Your what?
My antlers! I can't get them loose!
And the strange craft with a moose dangling from it went bounding over the countryside, much to the wild surprise of 2 nearby Indian chiefs.
Some sight, eh, Chauncey?
You talk straight, Edward.
What you think-em it is?
One of 2 things.
What 2 things?
Plane with crazy landing gear.
Or?
Moose with crazy head.
Oh, Chauncey, you funny Indian.
Funny Indian?
Yes. Navajo, ho, ho.
But it wasn't funny at all to Rocky.
I gotta try to get Bullwinkle out of there.
So the next time the moose touched ground, Rocky grabbed his leg and tried to pull him out. He didn't succeed.
Hokey smoke, I'm up in the air.
I'm not too calm myself.
And the helicopter continued on its erratic up and down course over the desert. How long can our heroes take this terrible pounding? Don't fail to see our next episode, The Boy Bounders, or Plain Punchy.
For those of you who lack horse sense, here is Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, racing fans. Today's topic is entitled, How to Do Stunts in the Movies Without Having the Usher Throw You Out. You arrive at the studio and get the first assignment from the director.
You all set to go, stuntman?
I sure am, CB.
Here is scene. You start car blows up.
With me in it?
Absolutely, of course not. We stop film, you get out, then car blows up. Got it?
Got it.
Camera, action. Take 2.
War pictures offer a great challenge to the stuntman, especially if you're chicken.
Comes now big bombing scene. Dummy is in foxhole. Bombs fall all around. You rush into foxhole, get dummy.
Got it, PW.
Camera, action.
Right out onto no man's land you run. Bombs busting to the right and to the left. Somehow you make it. Leap into the foxhole, fight off the foxes, and emerge with the dummy, which is a bomb, and you are the dummy. Before the day is through, you find yourself on a 5,000-foot high cliff.
In this scene, you jump off cliff into net.
Comforted by the thought of the safety net below, you launch yourself earthward. The net is there, all right, but no one is holding it. And so in conclusion, to be a stuntman, one must always be careful to avoid painful injury.
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
You're welcome.
Doc Peabody here. Today, Sherman and I are off to Boston.
For beans, Mr. Peabody?
No. For the Battle of Bunker Hill, Sherman. We set the Wayback Machine for June 17th, 1775, and in an instant we were teleported to the scene of the battle. High atop Bunker Hill, we joined the American Army.
Look, Mr. Peabody, the British are halfway here already.
Oh, indeed they were, and closer they came.
Why don't the Americans fire?
A good question, Sherman. Pardon me, Lieutenant, but unless you commence firing, the British will be upon you.
I know it, but orders are orders.
And what were the orders?
Not to fire until we see the whites of their eyes. And the way I see it, this battle's going to be over without us firing a shot.
I don't understand, Mr. Peabody. Can't they see the whites of the eyes?
I'm afraid not, Sherman. You see, the British are wearing sunglasses. Well, the battle might have begun and ended right there if it hadn't been for British tradition. The clock struck 4 and the English broke for tea.
1 lump of tool, men.
3, please.
Quick, Lieutenant, send someone back to headquarters and have those orders countermanded.
A good idea. I'll go myself.
You realize, of course, everything depends on speed.
Don't worry, sir. I'll be back in a week.
A week?
Headquarters are in New York.
Well, give my regards to Broadway. Quickly, Sherman, we must invade the enemy camp. It was obvious that unless the British removed their sunglasses, the American cause was doomed. We made our way downhill and hid behind a small wooden fence.
Now what, Mr. Peabody?
Take the spray can, Sherman. It contains white paint. You see this hole in the fence? Well, every time a British soldier peeks through it, spray his sunglasses.
But how are you going to get them to peek through the fence?
Curiosity, my boy. Seconds later, a Do Not Look Through Here sign was posted over the hole, and it brought immediate results. How's it going, Sherman?
Just fine, Mr. Peabody.
Good. Continue spraying until you've run out of soldiers. Then meet me at the tent of General Burgoyne.
By Jove, Major, that sunglasses idea of yours was positively a stroke of genius. Where on earth did you ever pick it up?
In one of the far-off colonies called Long Beach, California. All the natives wear them out there.
Begging the General's pardon, sir, but we just caught 2 blinking spies.
You didn't catch us, and we are not spies. General Burgoyne, I am Dr. Peabody, and this is my assistant, Dr. Sherman.
Doctors? What sort of doctors?
Eye specialists. There's an outbreak of spot-sitis in the colonies, and...
Tea time's up. All right, Major, have the men resume the attack. Now what's all this folderol about isopotis?
Spot-sitis. You see, General...
General, come quickly.
What is it, men? Are we on the run?
No, sir. We're on our backs. Look, every one of our soldiers flat on his back, complaining of spots before the eyes.
Spot-sitis.
Spotsitis?
Spotsitis?
We set up a field hospital in the General's tent.
I say, do you always use a magnet instead of a scalpel?
In cases of spot-sitis, yes. Now close your eyes, please.
Now open them.
I can see! Oh, I can see!
Gets you right here, doesn't it?
Why, yes, I suppose so.
By the time we were through, every soldier in the British Army had been shorn of sunglasses. We presented our bill to Burgoyne and then crept back to the American lines.
Here they come, Mr. Peabody.
Now remember, men, your orders are not to fire until you see the whites of their eyes.
Oh, no, they're not.
It's the lieutenant who went to New York.
How did you get back so fast?
I hit the signals just right. Here are the new orders.
To the American Army, do not fire until you see the glare of their sunglasses.
Oh, no!
Well, Sherman, back to the enemy camp again.
What do we do this time?
We'll have to convince Burgoyne the only preventive for a reoccurrence of spot-sitis is to wear sunglasses. That's correct, General. According to my colleague, Dr. Sherman here, your army must wear sunglasses.
By the way, old man, isn't Dr. Sherman a trifle young to be a doctor?
Well, he skipped his internship. Your sunglasses, General?
Thank you, Doctor.
And so the British finally assaulted Bunker Hill. We not only saved the American army, but we coined a new phrase.
New phrase?
Yes. I think what we did with those sunglasses was definitely a frame-up. Don't you?
When Rocky's friend Bullwinkle inherited a mine from his uncle, little did he think it would lead to this. But then again, neither did anybody else.
Boris, darling, what a wonderful stunt.
What do you talk, Natasha? I didn't did it.
But if not you, then who?
Exactly what Rocky was wondering as he shouted,
Can you see who the pilot is, Bullwinkle?
Yeah, he's just a run-of-the-mill mysterious stranger.
It was true. A masked figure was at that moment frantically twisting the controls.
Up, sail around, stabilize the elevator, rig for diving, dinghy, prepare to ditch.
Boy, that is a confused mysterious stranger.
That voice is awful familiar.
Of course, that was me. I just said that is
No, I mean the pilot's voice. Look out, here we go again.
Oh, I'll never get out of here, Rock.
Well, look, if we can't get out, let's try to get inside.
Yeah.
Bullwinkle struggled and strained, but to no avail. Then suddenly, both of our boys shot into the plane with no trouble at all.
Hey, that was pretty easy after all.
Yeah, but how come we're lying on the ceiling?
Well, that's how come. Look down at the ground.
Golly, Rock, it's gone.
Yeah, but now look up.
The sky, it's full of worlds.
Don't you get it, Bullwinkle? We're flying upside down.
Well, then they better get the picture turned around. Ooh, that's more like it.
Not very much, Bullwinkle. We're falling.
Hey, Mr. Pilot, we're gonna crash.
You know something? I had a hunch we would.
That voice, where have I...
At that moment, a gust of wind lifted the pilot's mask.
Bullwinkle, it's Captain Peter Peachfuzz.
The world's worst sailor?
You wasn't supposed to guess.
Grab the wheel, Rock. It's our only chance.
And the plucky squirrel struggled to right the capsized helicopter, but the force of gravity pulled it lower and lower as it flew over sagebrush and cactus.
Come on, Rocky!
Come on, gravity!
But sure enough, under Rocky's skillful handling, the plane righted itself and zoomed upward.
Boy, that was too close for comfort.
Yeah, too close for me, too.
You okay, Captain Peachfuzz?
Of course, Rocky, but I do wish you'd turn the lights on.
But it's daylight, Captain.
I can't see a thing.
Of course not. You've got this mask on backwards. Boy, they don't call him Wrong Way Peachfuzz for nothing.
You mean they gonna pay?
What in the world are you doing in that outfit, Captain?
Can't you tell? I'm the new head of G2.
The government's intelligence system?
But why are you following us, Captain Peachfuzz?
Glad you asked. It's because of, I have it written down inside my hat here. Let's see. Oh, yes, it's because of J.B. Stetson.
No, that's the wrong label.
Oh, of course it is. It's because of Bullwinkle's mine.
What about it?
It's just vital to our defense, is all.
How come that?
I'll tell you in one word.
Yes?
Upsidaisium.
Upsidaisium?
Shh, not so loud. So you see, we must get to that mine quickly. Full speed a splurg, a glug, a fnig, a robe, a dick. Full speed ahead!
But true to his nature, Captain Peachfuzz reached for the wrong lever, and when he pulled it, the helicopter's rotating blades flew off into space, and the stricken craft plunged earthward. Well, it looks as if Rocky and Bullwinkle have a real wrong-way problem on their hands. Be with us next time for a peek at the peak, or Your Climb is My Climb.